we get back to DN1. Having understood all the elements, so now it becomes more easy. So we were looking at partial eternalism, ekaccha sasattavada. Why it is partial is because I know that there is contraction and there is expansion. Okay. So there are 4 grounds. So we covered, I think, 2 grounds in that way. Then we come to the 3rd ground. So there are gods named malevolent. They spend too much time gazing at each other, so they grow angry. It is actually a wrong way of translation is what I see here. Santi bhikkave manopadosika namadeva. Manopadosika means there is the deva has a wrong opinion. Okay, they ati velam, that is he spends too much time. Anyamanyam upanijhayanti. Te ati velam anyamanyam upajhayanta anyamanyam hi chittani padunsanti. Te anyamanyam padutta chitta kilantakaya kilantaka chitta te deva tamha kaye chavanti. So kilantakaya means exhausting. Kilantaka chitta means exhausted in mental. Why that happens is because they keep on staring at each other. This is the same problem that happens between a male and a female. They keep on gazing at the bodies. And that's the reason we either start to like the body or we start to hate the body. It's a wrong word to put it as manopadosa, as malevolent. It gives a different opinion that somebody is going to fight or something like that. So it cannot be malevolent if we rather take it. It can be stated as, they have a kind of envy that they can't stand the other person looking good. So they keep on looking at the other being, how it is, why it is so attractive, and why am I not attractive. Okay, so basically in the Deva world, it's all about attraction, meaning they get very good bodies, so then they keep on staring at each other endlessly. So they get tired by the body, tired by the mind, just like in our space, we keep on watching objects which are coming to our senses, either as a sound, either as a taste, either as a touch, either as a smell, either as a sight, and the thought. So we get exhausted by the body and by the mind. Same thing, no difference. Let's take some few examples. So, what's the difference? Let's say US versus Australia versus New Zealand versus UK. Actually, there is no difference. But then each country claims to be beautiful. Each country claims to be rich. Each country claims to be so and so. So I go and I start liking US. Okay. So whatever it is, the roads are beautiful, the cars are good, and traffic is less, then all kind of comforts, beaches, this, that. Then I go to Australia. Same thing. Now I start comparing Australia with US. So the body gets tired and the mind gets tired. When you start comparing, you get exhausted, both by the body and by the mind. So that is called manopadosa. The mind has a dosa, dvesha, it is hatredness towards what is not good, or they keep on wondering how come this is so good. So they get tired of it. which in human world we are doing it. So even if you exist as a deva, you would not be happy with the things they are, because you'll always find something missing in you, and hence you want that. It's a lowest form of avijja, but still it exists as a mental defect, basically manopadosa. Dosa is hatred. Yes. They don't have vyapada, but they have that, why it is so good, why it is not, like that. Yes, 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 like exactly, because they all come under the Kama Sugati Loka. See, one thing we need to understand about Kama, I think we are very few in number who has really understood Kama to what it is. And what is Sugati there? What's a good Gati there? Human is the starting point of Kama Sugati Loka. Why? Number one, you have eyes. You can do million things using eyes. EYES, which has knowledge on how to pick up the object. So now you can be selective that I will take this object, I will not take that object. Right? So we have a collection. So we would like to collect. So we keep on collecting through the eyes. Then the sound. What sound to take and what sound not to take. So we like bird sounds, we like light music, hard rock, this, that, so many different things. So we would like to have that. So we can choose. Nose. The smell you can reflect, you can say this smell I want and that smell I don't want. Taste. I can select the taste, how it should taste. I can say I need Indian, I don't like Chinese, or I like Chinese, I don't like Indian, I like continental, I like European, I like this, that, or whatever it is. So I can have various things associated with it. Touch. I want to fly business class, let's say. That's a touch. Or I want to go on a roller coaster ride, it's a touch. I want to go to Space Needle, I say in Seattle, and it keeps on turning around. So it's very nice to see Mount Washington from there. So something like that. So all of this provide a sensual experience. So Las Vegas or wherever we go is for that highest form of sensuality, which you know is far better than what an animal or a bird or an insect or whatever can experience, because they don't have that experiential ability to categorize like what we are doing. They have very limited one, but they don't really see the way we see it. So the other devas can see it even more refined than what we can really experience with the same eye, same ear, same nose, but their experience is more refined. So as we go up on sensuality, it's more and more refined. And hence it's called Kama Sugati, because the destiny is pretty good. Okay. So basically that's the thing what we looked into 11 lokas, they all are Kama related, where you go behind them. So the leaving out the five, the six Deva realms are far more extraordinary experiences than the human realm. Got it? Because there's effort to be put here, but there's no effort to be put there to enjoy the sensual feelings. And you don't have to get pregnant. You don't have to get into menstrual cycles. Nothing is required. Because you need to come back. Yes, you're going to come back after exhaustion of that, but at that point in time, you don't have to worry about anything. Yes.
So I guess I haven't thought about this before much, but even within sensuality, there's grades of subtlety, right? Let's say classic music is different than metal. Both are there's enjoyment, but some people just like that very
You can categorize. See, the basic aim of sensuality is to categorize and enjoy. That's something starts with human. So it goes through five or rather six ways of seeing it, which we have already covered, Ita, Kanta, Manapa, like that. So those six define the senses from human till the last realm in the Kama Sugati. It's not only with human. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the question is there are a level of refinement. There's, more.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
See, now we call it divine music, divine sight. It's all about going upwards. So that's more refined than what you see here or what you hear. But there is far more refined. Like the what we call them as dancers or some kind of women in the Deva world who are pretty good looking, where Nanda saw that his current wife to be a trash. Okay, why? Because that's how the refinement is. So what shape you are seeing here is literally nothing when compared to that. So when the mind picks up that, meaning when the consciousness picks up that, it lets go of what is inferior because that is how it is tuned to be in the first place. So like in the another sutta that wait, I can tell you that sutta becomes easy for all of you on that. It is Panchakanga Sutta, SN 36.19. If somebody were to go through that, okay, there Buddha explains there the Udayi and Panchak that these two people are discussing about the different kind of what we can say feelings, two feelings, four feelings, 10 feelings, and all that, and then uh, and the Panchakanga says that Buddha said two feelings and he says three feelings and then six, like that. Then Buddha says, I have explained 108 feelings, and then he explains to Ananda about the Kama, saying that there are five senses into six, and if somebody says there is no experience through senses, I don't agree with it. But if he says that is the only highest happiness, I don't agree with it. So then there is better thing, it's called first jhana. Then he explains that. Then he says, if somebody comes and says to me that this is the better experience than the Kama, I would agree with it. But if he says this is the ultimate happiness, I don't agree with it. So like that, he takes on to the mind. Okay? This sutta, one should really understand. Because the mind will not let go of something unless it attains the higher than that. So we all are like that. Yesterday, or day before yesterday, Ashwin was asking me about the things what we are discussing, and I was telling him about Chanda, interest. That itself is a Iddipada. Why? Because without interest, to get a higher one, you can't let go of the lower one. So first you should get a higher experience, and then automatically you will leave it. If you have not got a higher one, then the mind will not give up the lower one. Yes, Arif.
And the consciousness always knows which is higher, which is lower. Doesn't
There's no teacher for consciousness because consciousness knows everything.
Yeah. Just like if a person is madly in love with his wife, or because he's the most beautiful in his town, the moment he go to see in the city and see a beautiful woman, his mind already see this. He already
exactly. Let's say a nice featured woman comes and she sits next to this person and she is smiling at him and making all kind of advances, and she touches him and she says, yeah, the one which I was dreaming about. Now just take that scenario. Will he not let go of his family? At that moment, he would. To get this woman touch, he will forget all about the family he has. Maybe he has two children, he has a wife, he has house, he has his mother, father, this, that, all of that just gets erased in a moment, just in a moment. And that's how consciousness is fleeting. Why? Because it took over the higher one. This woman was more higher than the current wife what he has. Okay, we need to understand it deeper. At that moment, is he enjoying his family? And the answer is no. Forget the woman for time being. Let's take Apple Store. You are in love with an Apple product. At that moment, no family comes. It's only you and that Apple product. Let's take a car. You want to buy the car. You are so enamored by the car. You have Vitta Kanta Manapa Kamupa Samita Piya Rupa Rajaniya. You are enticed by it. Rajani is enticing. So you are enticed by the car. You forget all about everything. And when you buy the car, don't you enjoy the car? Don't you sit in the car? Don't you want to go for a ride and all of that? Why? Because you're in love with the car. At that moment, you forget everything because mind drops which is inferior, takes what is superior. You have to teach it. Hey, this is superior, that is inferior. It knows. At present, this joy, this happiness I'm getting is superior. So it forgets all about the family. Yes?
Yeah, I'm just thinking as humans, right? Because we are more, I guess, we have this comparing capability. But let's say some animals that just like the eat the shit, right? It doesn't understand really that is much better. I guess it has its own, the ignorance is too much for it to understand the higher even. Puts a cap on its enjoyment. But human can develop that. You say acquired taste, right? So you can acquire that.
Yes. So, basically, if we see what is happening, that the mind knows all. As an animal, it's a consciousness. As a bird, it's a consciousness. As an insect, it's a consciousness. As a human, it's a consciousness. Is a deva also the consciousness? So that means the consciousness knows the gradation also. The consciousness knows what is higher and what is lower. So when it is given a higher, it is ready to give the lower. So in this particular manopadosa, they keep on staring at something which is higher than them. Just like we keep on staring at a woman. We're doing the same thing. We're not doing anything different. So when you see beautiful woman, the beauty is in the eyes, not in the woman, because it depends on how he is seeing her. Right? So if you have a bikini competition, 50 women are showing or in their bikini, then it's the same thing. But no, each woman looks different to me. Why? Because at that time my mind is having manopadosa. Got the point? Otherwise, we don't have anything called as competition. The reason why we have comparison and competition is to bring in the manopadosa in us. So we develop it. Okay? And we don't know how do we have it. We already have it because we have stayed in that realm some time ago. So the consciousness knows it. So We are ready for any competition, any kind of competition. The moment there's a competition, you know one person is going to lose, another person is going to gain. But we want it. So, two of the evils, one is comparison, another one is competition. That creates manopadosa. So, I develop it in the mind. I develop means the consciousness knows it and it develops it because it wants to be the first. So, they keep on fighting. Competing is nothing but fighting for authority. So I want to be number one. So each company will put we are number one. Why? Because its existence. It wants to exist. The company has to exist. The product has to exist. So we have to take the market. So we use all this term because manopadosa. Yeah.
So I'm thinking in this process of comparison, picking the higher, the mind become more and more picky, you can say. So it becomes more picky. So now what used to be satisfying no longer is satisfying. So this person become harder and harder to satisfy because he required that more refined. So he cannot enjoy what he used to enjoy, and now he's more dissatisfied.
Yes. So as humans, when we do this, we can see we are never satisfied when compared to the four great kings. The fifth realm. So they are more contented. And they think Tavatimsa people are more contented. And then they think that that next realm is more contented. And then they think the next realm is more contented. You got the point? That's what Buddha is saying in this. So this is how it is happening. So we know we could have been there, but now we are here. So by doing something, I will go back there, which is more better. Right? So what do we do in human world? We decorate the cities and we make sure that one who is entering our city feels privileged. Right? So somebody in New York wants to come to San Francisco. The California state makes sure that who is coming from Yankees would feel privileged to be in California because it has world's best universities, Silicon Valley, this and that, and so many different kinds of artificial stuff fitted into it. So when somebody from New York were to fly to San Francisco, he feels privileged. In the same way, a San Francisco guy going to New York is made to feel privileged by some other thing, which is not there in California. Okay, and you make them sure that every person feels something privileged being an American. When compared to any other nationality, you make sure that you feel privileged. So if you have a green card, you have a citizenship is far better than just having some B1, B2 visa or some L1 visa or some other visa. Labor kind of, no. And even if you are an American, having a big yacht and a big house and a big this one is more privileged. So the objective remains the same, that make higher and drop the lower because you know it is inferior. And that's what we all are doing. So we know, the consciousness knows this is inferior, this is superior. So each Deva realm then would say they are far better than us. We spend too much time on this. Now we have to go back, like we are saying, I want to be a Sotapanna. Why? I want to go down. You got the point? Down is worse. Being a human is okay. I am accepting to it. Deva is better. But Devas would say Brahmas are better. And Brahmas would then think there is something called as Arupajhana, and that is better. So then Buddha says nothing is better. Only Nibbana is only better. Because wherever there is existence, there is going to be two things: comparison, competition. You compare, you keep on comparing. You feel disheartened when you compare prices, we compare. So you feel disheartened. Oh, I lost it. Okay? Then you compete. He is doing better. Sri Lankans are better. They are better Buddhist. So everybody runs to Sri Lanka. Why? Because they are better. Thai people are better. So people run to Thailand. If you say Burmese are better, people run to Burma. But nobody is better or worse. It is monopadosa. It's a stupid thing to have. It's Dhamma. It's got nothing to do with Sri Lanka or with Myanmar or with Thailand. But then I start following that culture. And I say, then I identify with it. I say I'm from forest meditation. Forest meditation? Yeah, I'm from Thai. Oh, you follow Ajahn? Ah, yes. Because I need that brand to stand out of it. So that is again Manopadosa. Stand out of it. Meaning, when compared to others, I'm far better. So, didn't I compare? Yes. Didn't I compete? Yes. Am I not in Manopadosa? Yes. Okay, now I am following Sayadaw. Which is better? Thai is better, Sayadaw is better. For me, Sayadaw is better. Where it works for me. So I feel privileged. So I'm ready to drop off sensuality because now I am on something more higher, which is Sayadaw. So I'm ready to give up. So somebody says you don't have to eat for the whole day. I say yes. Why? Because that's higher. Like I go to a 10-day retreat. Why? Because that's higher than this. So I do it. Is it good? Yes, it's pretty good. I would love to book another 10-day retreat. The sooner. Why? It's giving me benefit. Manopadosa. One time is sufficient? No. What are you talking? So that urge to stand out of the rest. So somebody asked, how many retreats of Goenka have you done? And then the person says, 50. 50 retreats. My God, yes. All of them, yes. I've done 10, I've done 20, I've done 30, I've done 45, I've done 60, I've done multiple 10s and multiple 20s and multiple 30s and multiple 60s. So what a dedication you have. And that puffs me. So I get more and more feeling great. That feeling of greatness is what is Manopadosa. So they keep on staring at other person who is either inferior to him or superior to him. Now let's say somebody has done 75 retreats and only 50 retreats. So I feel, when will I do 75? Now what's so special of that 75 person? So I'll go and sit with him and ask him, sir, I've done 50, tell me how to make it 75. Hey, what 75? I'm planning to do 100. Yes.
And in life, you often found two people both jealous of each other.
That's exactly what this is.
Even though they don't have different things, each think the other one has better. So they keep on wanting to go the other way. And then...
Exactly. That's where I'm telling you. If you ask somebody who's done 75-day retreat, he'll find somebody who's done 100-day retreat. I said 100 retreats, not 100 days, 100 retreats. And he would say that person has done 100, so let me also do 100. Because I know this is higher. against one retreat. Like I have done only one. So when compared to the person who's done 100, he says, he's a child. What is he talking? I've done 100 retreats. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand. Like it's normal that you're jealous of higher, right? But sometimes both are jealous, right? Like this.
Not sometimes both are jealous of at the same state.
Mm.
The one who has done 100, and if I say I've experienced all that Goenka has said, then he would feel jealous that even with 100 I have not got it.
Yeah, but I was trying to say a different scenario where, the city mouse wants the country mouse life and the country mouse wants the city life. Both think are superior.
You feel it like that. They both will have jealousy. That's why they keep on staring at each other. Staring means not staring by eyes. Staring as in the sense of how I can make myself more better. That is manopadosa, which we already have. You are working for Google and somebody is working for some other competitor. So then they have a competition. So then who is better? Which company is better? So then you have to have some revenue or something as a measurement. So that is a manopadosa, as simple as that. So they both are jealous of each other. Yes, Ashwin.
Is it in simple words? Can we say it is a abhijja of?
No, not abhijja is he shouldn't have it at all. This is not that.
Not that. That's a question. That's a question also we found somebody is ours or something. No.
No. Here, when I see you, Ashwin, I want to be like you.
Okay.
Or you want to be like me. So we keep on wasting our energy in staring at each other. What will make you become like me and what is that I can do to become like you? No, I would like to become like Aryu.
Okay.
And I find him much better than me. Or Aryu feels I'm more better than him. So he would like to exactly do whatever I'm doing. So in the process, it becomes manopadosa. Like the companies also do the same thing, right? They will see what that competitor is doing. So we can also do something like that. And then cut the competition. So all are manopadosa. That's the basic meaning of manopadosa. They are not malevolent like what is put in the sutta. They are just trying to be like the other because they keep on staring. They keep on seeing that this person is much better than me and what I can do to become better like him. So they find that we spent our time like this instead of going higher. So they stop doing it and they try getting higher. So that's the reason it's called partial heteronistic attitude. You know what you're doing is wrong. So you see something higher and you say that forget this, let's go there. Like, we are working out. Let's say we would like to have our mind like a deva. So you are ready to give up all this comparison, competition, all of that as a human. So you see all humans are equal. So that the mind lets go of this and takes the higher. And then the manopadosa will go away.
At the lower level, it goes away.
Yes. Higher level will be there. See, it is always grades. So don't get confused. I'm talking now from human perspective. You have to drop this to get there. In the end, drop both perception and feeling, and that's it. Okay. So this is the third one and fourth one. I think we covered this, but it is good to cover it again, that the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body is anicca, dukkha, anatta, but the mind, the vijnana, the chitta is permanent. It exists. So, five senses are partial, they are not eternal, consciousness is eternal. So, and hence they become the partial eternalistic ones. Ekacha sasattavada. So Buddha says, I know all of this and hence I don't take it. Then the next question comes, the cosmos is finite or infinite. Anantanantavada. Ananta. Anta is ending. Ananta is unending. Anta anantavada. Whether it is ending or not ending. So how does this work? Again, 4 grounds. Okay. Ida vikave ekacho samanno va brahmano va atappa manvaya padhana manvaya anuyoga manvaya appamada anvaya samma manasa manasikara manvaya tatha rupam cheto samadam pussati ita samahite chitte anta sanni lokasmin viharati. They say antava ayam loko parivatumo, because I am seeing it like this. What is finite? Yatha antava ayam loko parivatumo. Vatuma means limited. Parivatuma is completely limited. After this, there is nothing there. So they refer it like this. When you go to sleep, is the world ending? Yes. Is it bound? Yes. Is that the boundary? Yes. Very simple example to give. When you go to sleep, world is ended. No longer you can experience the world. So how long is your world? 18 hours or 19 hours every day. Isn't it or not? Whatever the world you call, only in the waking state you can see it. Otherwise there is no world. So they come up to this view. And then they come to the second one. They say, Ananta ayam loko apariyayanto. Because I am seeing this in this way. How do they see like this Ananta? Anta means ending, Ananta means unending. That means as soon as I wake up, I can see the world back again. So if it was ending, I wouldn't have been able to experience it again. Because I'm able to experience it again, it is Ananta. And you can't measure it also. The first one is bound, that means it can be measured. So, till I sleep, the world exists. After I sleep, the world doesn't exist. So, the second view is, yes, but then when I wake up, the world comes back. So, it was never that the world did not exist. I was not aware of the world existing, but that doesn't mean the world didn't exist. So, it is Ananta. Yep.
So are these two views not concerned with the size of the universe, like whether it's how big it is? Because what you're talking seem to be referring to the time.
Yes, so now cosmos is made of, when we say loka, the loka view is normally put as cosmos, because they take it from the Greeks, but that's not the actual meaning at which this is talking about. Loka means what you experience. So the question Pacha keeps on asking Buddha is the experience anta? Is there an ending to experience or is unending?
So this translation is completely misleading. This translation has become completely misleading.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with cosmos. What has cosmos got to do with your experience? You are experiencing through the senses. So the question asked is the experience of senses, okay, And in fact, Loka Sutta, in that Buddha explains what is Loka. He says the Tamujjati Loka. Lujjati of what? If eye, ear, nose, and all that. Okay, it's nothing to do with cosmos. Okay. These paribhajjakas, they are aware, they know it, meaning they know the earth is turning and this is turning and that is turning and all that. Okay, they have seen it. So they are saying, this what I'm experiencing, the world turning, is it ananta or anta? See, when I see something, isn't it that I'm seeing the world? Can be called as the world of senses, can be called as the world itself in my senses. Isn't it that it is ending, or is it that it is unending? It's always expanding or always contracting. What is it? Because when I see and I sleep, I close my eyes, the world is gone. So can I then say my world, this world, which I am experiencing, is for 18 hours only? Because the remaining hours I have not. And the other side, they say that you have slept it, that doesn't mean the world stopped. And then the planets were running when you were also sleeping. But that's got nothing to do with your sleeping. So hence world is unending. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in this case, then this is pretty related to the Uchedavada, right? Is it?
No,
if it's
we're
talking
going
about
to come.
okay.
So no, we'll come to that. This is on the world, nothing to do with Uchedavada. Uchedavada means after the body is gone, that's it. Go on.
Which means the experience will also end.
Not only end, there's nothing called karma and all that. We are not talking about this is about the world, it's not about the being. We are talking about the world. The first one was of the being. Sasattavada, we finished it. Now we are in the about the world, loka. What do you think the loka is? See, in the Vacha's question is, he says, whether I, that is the body and the soul are the same or they're different. Yam jivam tam shariram, anyam jivam anyam shariram. Those 4 questions are answered now. Now they are coming to the next set of questions. Antavaloko, anantavaloko. That's the point. Whatever Vacha is asking is there in DN2, DN1, what we are now covering. In that, Buddha never answers. But here the 62 views are there. In that, all of this view comes. What's the point? Okay. Now, what does he say? He says that I have seen it, that this loka is like this. The world is infinite and unbound. And third ground, so then they come vertical and horizontal, like a disc. So they're saying both finite and infinite. If you see from this direction, it is finite. If you see from that direction, it's infinite. What do you mean? If you see from the sleeping posture perspective, it is finite. But when you see from waking perspective, it is infinite. So if you were to be sleeping and awake at the same time, which can happen, then it is neither finite nor infinite. So it has both. You are just not seeing the horizontal and the vertical side of it. You just take a horizontal side of it, it becomes finite. If you take the vertical side of it, it becomes infinite. Because here you have the breadth, here you have the length. So now the length is so magnanimous, you can't say how big it is. But if you take the width of it, and then you can say, oh, you know what, this is only from here to here. Like we talk about a horizon. It's like ending of the world. Because when I see end of the sky, it's a horizon for me, and that's it. So there's a sunrise and there's a sunset. So the world starts when the sunrise, the world ends when the sunset. No, that's what I'm experiencing. See, again, remember, Aryu, or for everyone, it's the experience which matters. So the Antavaloko, Anantavaloko is an experience. It's nothing to do with whether the scientifically proving whether it is finite or infinite. What's your experience? Is your experience saying that it is ending or it is unending? And if yes, that's the reason he uses these words by their own diligence, practice, and everything. He says it's when the ascetic or Brahmin, by dint of keen, resolute, committed, diligent effort, right application of mind, experiences, and immersion of heart of such a kind that they meditate, perceiving perceiving the cosmos as finite vertically, but infinite horizontally. It's not that they're imagining it, they are seeing it that way. So, how do they see it? They see it by meditation. They're meditating on that and they can see that this is the end of the world. So, what do you mean, end of the world? They can see in their body as it is ending or it is infinite, so the entire universe. With the meditative practice of the Paribhajaka in this situation, the Brahmana and Samana, is in terms of first observing their own and then expanding it to the others. That's the reason Buddha also talks about Ajjata Bahidya. So they all do the same thing. So how do I measure this? I measure this by the state at which it is. So it's a waking state. So it is waking state means I can see, I can hear, I can taste, I can touch, I can smell, I can think. That's the state what I am in. The senses state. The senses are fully operational. Now I can take a plane and go from place A to place B, experiencing the end to end. So when I land in San Francisco, I have left Bangalore behind. So the Bangalore to San Francisco is a distance of whatever thousands of kilometers. Now I can measure it. So when I measure it, is it Antavaloko, Anantavaloko? It is Anta. Why? I'm able to measure it. That's the distance. It can't keep on increasing. So for me, the flight between Bangalore to San Francisco is 17 hours 10 minutes with covering so much of distance. And if I want to talk about the whole world, the world as in going around the earth, so I can say, okay, going around the earth, 24 hours orbit, this many kilometers I can cover. So that's my Antavaloka. I can see it. So when through meditation what they can see much more. That means they can cover everything up, including their own body. So then they sense this is the end. So that was the first thing, Antavaloka. Second was Anantavaloka. That means I keep on seeing it is keep on expanding. I don't see any end. But the third one says that's not the way. You have to see this way horizontal and that way vertical, and you can see they are both finite in one way and infinite in another way. So the third way of interpreting whether the world is finite, infinite, or otherwise. Anta Ananta, that is what is the discussion now. Yes, Ari, go ahead.
So could you say that those people who have Sasattavada will always agree with Ananta?
No, again you come back to the Sasattavada. This is a different question.
But if the soul is eternal, that means experience will also be unending.
It's about world. World is different. Soul is different. See, Let's take an example. Arupa Loka. It's a loka, right? It's a world. So the question is it finite or infinite? Now Buddha says there are 31 levels, but I don't know. There can be many more levels, which Buddha might not have seen. That becomes Anantava Loka. Antava Loka, whatever I can see, I am seeing the next realm, and that's a max. I don't think so there's any other world. That's what in the same sutta Buddha says, they can only see one level up and not other than that. They can't see all. So they think, oh, these people meditated far better than me and I didn't do it, so let me go back to that place. Like that. So that becomes a loka. So then the senses, how you sense in this world, in other world, is the loka experience. So when they put cosmos, it looks like as though we are talking about galaxies and planets and all that. It's not. It is these 31 levels of existence which you exist. You means the consciousness exists. So the question now comes is it finite? Is it infinite? Is it both? So the third view is it's finite horizontally, it's infinite vertically. Yes.
So is it the right understanding, let's say I have a view of Sasattavada, right? I think the soul is eternal like a mountain, never ending, always in the background. But still the world can exist for finite and infinite, but the soul is eternal.
We are not talking about soul at all. Harry, why are you bringing soul again and again? I'm not able to understand. You leave the soul aside. Now we have settled with that soul thing. Now the question comes, is the world going to be there or not? Like if they have produced eons. So after that there's another eon starting. After that another eon starting. That means it's infinite. What is happening in the body is happening outside also, right? So first I need to know what is loka. The loka is what is experienced now, and that is extrapolated everywhere. And if the question is not on who is experiencing, if the question is who is experiencing, the soul is experiencing, is what I would say. So that becomes a sattavada. We are not talking about who is experiencing. We are talking about whether the world is going to be existing or it's not going to be existing. Is it finite means what? It means it has ending and that's it, over, done. So how do you define when you sleep? The world doesn't exist. So I can take that analogy and say, look, I can see for myself that the world doesn't exist when I sleep. Same thing would happen, which is called as dissolution, and that's it. After that, nothing comes. So that's my view. Second person says, hey, when you wake up, the world came back, right? Yes. In the same way, when that happens, when the dissolution happens, it automatically restarts again. So the world comes back. So it's infinite. And a third fellow says that, you stupid guy, it's not like that. When you sleep, yes, you have dissolution of the world, but when you wake up, you have world starting. It means to say, when you sleep, it's horizontal, but when you wake up, it's vertical, because you keep on getting experiences one after the other in your waking state of mind. You get sound, you get sight, you get taste, you get touch, you get smell. Everything is separate thing which is happening to you. So it is both finite as well as infinite. So something is vertical and something is horizontal. That's perfectly true, because your experience when you sleep is gone. Other person has not slept, but you slept, right? This is gone for you. But when you wake up, aren't you getting all experiences which looks like piled and piled and piled and piled and piled? It's vertical. So first we need to know the analogies so that we can really see in our actual life. And that is how they used to meditate. That's the meditation. Otherwise, they'll be imagining. There's nothing called imagination. They will prove it. So, waking state, dream state, deep sleep state are the three ways of seeing a world. So, when you say, I'm seeing the world, I'm hearing the world, I'm tasting the world, I'm touching the world, it's a waking state. I'm withdrawn a little bit. I'm thinking, but other things are not happening at all. So, it gets into dream state, where it is neither alive nor dead. And when you go into dissolution, that you go to deep sleep state, there's nothing to experience then. All experience are void. That means the world comes to an end. So at that moment, no San Francisco exists, no Bangalore exists, no Mumbai exists, no world exists, no earth exists, nothing exists. Neither your wife or kid or this or that or whatever. They are all removed out. That means it's anta, ended. That experience is ended. Same thing happening everywhere. The cycles come and cycle goes, and the cycle, when it goes, there's no restarting unless God wants to restart. And then that Vada comes. Yes, Ashwin, have a good day. So like that. So we need to see it in a very broad spectrum. If you see it through a narrow beam and say that, okay, we'll skip it, it's very easy. No. It's so deep. So your experience is what? Your experience right present, you are seeing Vilas. And Vilas is seeing Aryu, and other people don't have camera. So only two of us are there. And you are only asking question, I am only answering. That means other people are gone, right? Which means anta, right? It's seemingly like Vilas is talking to Aryu, Aryu is talking to Vilas. So we can make other people drop off because they are all showing it as some P and V and S and K and V and like that. So we don't have to talk to any one of them. So it's between Vilas and Aryu. So what's the world? World is made out of Aryu and Vilas. So it's anta, yes. After this call, it's ended. Over. Yes or no? We are talking about the world, not about the soul. So don't get confused. So the world now is Aryu. The world now is Vilas. So as long as Aryu keeps on showing his hand, I want to ask, and then Vilas' job is to keep on answering. So he's creating world. So one world, second world, third world, fourth world. Each question creates a world, and then I'm answering, so it creates a world for you. So you're getting your own world where you experience it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I understand the confusion now, because in the Sasattva Loco paragraph, it's talking these people can see 30, 40, 50 eons. I thought with that kind of scene, he would have thought it's Ananta Valoko. But he's not talking about Loka, he's still talking about the self.
Yes, the self existed even with 40 eons, even 10 eons I've seen it is existing. The things I existed and I'm going to exist and the consciousness is going to exist forever. That's the thing.
Yeah, but forever means Ananta, right?
Of the soul, not the world.
Not the world.
See, there are 10 questions. I think you need to go through the Aggivacha Sutta. We have covered it, but you have not really seen it. These 10 questions are separate 10 questions. They are not clubbed. They are nothing like, oh, it is connected with that, and that first question and the third question is same. No.
Yeah, we've gone through it, but it's very shallow. I mean, at least my understanding, very shallow. Back then, I still think it's cosmos infinite, I was thinking the size of it. But today, you're putting in complete different explanations, so then hence the questions are coming.
No, I appreciate a question. Search for Loka Sutta, or what is Loka. And Buddha says 6 senses are Loka in the Arya way of looking at it. Why? Because we experience only through the senses. How else will you experience the Loka? Now I am talking from a Buddha's point of view in this sutta. I am not talking from the Paribhajaka view of what it is. All of these questions are said by Buddha. So we have to go through what Buddha is saying. So you need to know what is loka from Buddha's point of view. The loka is six senses. So that's a definition by the Buddha. Just like if somebody asks what is karma, I can say Chetana aham bhikkave kammam vadami. That's the definition. You can't take anything else as karma. If you don't have an intent, there's no karma. Simple. In the same way, if you have not understood what is loka in the Buddha's way, then we have to first know what is loka. See, take Samyutta Nikaya 12.44. If you go through it, you'll understand. Okay, so that's the world. Shall we move forward? So the fourth one is a view where ne vayam loko antava na para pananto. So who said this is finite are also wrong, who said infinite is also wrong. The cosmos is both finite and infinite, and the cosmos is neither finite nor infinite. It's like neva sanya na sanya. So ultimately everything ends up with neva sanya na sanya. Neither you can absolute sense say that it is anta, nor you can say it is ananta. So these are the four logical grounds. Why it is like this? Because that is how you experience it. Okay, so the senses you experience only like this. Whatever sense gives you the experience, that's your loka. Okay, so Yes, Veena.
And that means we are experienced through eyes, means we are in eye conscious experience.
Yes, we have eye conscious experience, that is the loka. When you have ear conscious, it becomes a loka. When you have a tongue conscious, it becomes a loka. So each single conscious experience is a loka.
Okay, fine. Got it.
Okay. So when I say I'm experiencing Bangalore, I'm experiencing Bangalore through all the six senses. So that's my look at this point in time. Okay. So when I see something, hear something, taste something, touch something, smell something, think something, that's my loka. It will be different than what Ari is experiencing in terms of wherever he's staying. Because his world is different and my world is different. Because the senses are experiencing different things. They are not experiencing the same thing. So now if I compare these two, I'll say that they both are infinite and finite, and neither finite nor infinite. That's the fourth level argument. Yes.
Yeah, I think another confusion I would be having is that I thought these people who experienced eon upon eons, they would have seen a period when the universe has ended, so to speak. But I think because they would be seeing them in the Abhasaram realm, so their experience has not ended, so their loka is still there. So they would not have to view that there's no loka or like that.
Correct. So loka is 666, and so when we study this DN1, we should know we are talking from Buddha perspective. We're not talking from the Paribhajaka perspective. So we need to know what is loka from Buddha point of view and what is the what we can say the I said another one.
Like a scientist.
I totally forgot. So at least from the loka perspective, I need to know we're talking from six senses. So yeah, Veena.
In the way soul is not there, we refer that mind and matter is only there, mind and body only is there, isn't it, sir?
No.
Soul is there.
The difference between Buddha teaching and the other thing is there is a permanent thing called as a soul. And what Buddha says is that the soul comes due to dependence, not independent. That's the only difference. And hence, nowhere in the sutta, Buddha talks about Atma and Anatma. There's no sutta where you'll find Anatma, Anatmavada, or there's no way you'll find anything as Atmavada. You'll find Sastattvavada, Uchchedavada. It has got nothing to do with soul. But it is wrongly translated as Atma. Just like Anitya has been translated as Anitya, in the same way the Anatta has been translated as Anatma. So when you look at Anatma, it means there is no soul. Okay, then when somebody asks who is experiencing, what will you answer them?
My mind is experiencing, body is experiencing.
So now you have come to the third point, which Buddha says that everything else is non-real except for mind, which we just now covered. So you are saying that. We can go back to that. If you are not clear on that, we can go back to that.
Yeah, till now I understood that mind and matter is there, soul is not there. I understood till today.
Yeah. See, Veena, the soul is called as mind. Right? If you agree, mind is permanent, which is experiencing, so it is equivalent to soul. So we might call that as mind. But mind is what? Vijnana, right? Mind is consciousness or not?
Yeah, consciousness.
The consciousness exists or not?
Exist.
Then if you say I am Veena, are you not conscious that you are Veena?
Yeah.
Okay. Then when you are hungry, who is hungry? You are hungry or somebody else is hungry?
Stomach, myself. Stomach is hungry. Yeah.
No, stomach is not hungry. You are hungry. You are feeling hungry.
Yeah.
The stomach is saying to you that I am hungry. But you are eating or the stomach is eating by itself?
I am eating.
You are eating. Great. Then who went to the doctor a few days ago? You went or the body went itself?
I went.
You went. Who came to my home? The body came or you came?
Myself.
So the self is there or not?
Yeah. Okay.
You got it?
I got it. Thank you.
So it is a misunderstanding that Buddha talks about anatma. It is not anatma. It is anatta. There is no personality. There is no person. That is different and soul is different. So what the question here asked is yam jivam tam shariram. That means the jiva, the life form which is there inside is the same or is it different? That's a question. Because I am experiencing pain. Who is experiencing pain? I can't say body is experiencing pain. But I am feeling it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, who is flying to America? I can put the body in a flight and say go. But I am going. So, if somebody called Vilas is there, it is just to say as a concept or as an information that it is Vilas. So there is no Atta, a person to be found as Vilas. That's what Buddha explains. It's not about soul or no soul. So there's nothing called absolute thing in Buddha teaching that absolutely the soul exists and absolutely soul doesn't exist. He doesn't answer it at all. Tam jivam tam shariram anyam jivam anyam shariram. The jiva, he doesn't talk about atma, please. There's a difference between jiva and atma. Okay, atma means what? And anatma means what? Jiva means what? Ajiva means what? So we need to understand that. Jiva means life form. Is it in the body? Body and jiva are the same or body and jiva are different? Body is one thing and the jiva is another thing. Atma means what? Atma means one who is a witness. Is Atma. And Buddha never talks about the witness because you are supposed to be a witness consciousness. Now, if you say I am an anatmavada, then what are you witnessing? When somebody says, be an sakshi bhava, sakshi of whom? Who should become witness of whom? Yes, Hari.
But Buddha cannot say Atta also because then people would confuse it with Vijnana.
Exactly. So what he did is talk about only a personality, person. There is no person. But what does he use there? He says, which is called as Chitta Vijnana is real and other are not unreal, and hence it is partial materialistic view. We just now covered it. It's got nothing to do with Atma or Anatma. Okay. So if the consciousness itself is not accepted, then it becomes Uchchedavada. So there is an acceptance of consciousness, right? And who is getting released? Vijnana. Correct or wrong? Vijnanam, Anidasanam, Anantam, Sabbata, Prabha, it ends with what? Vijnanasa Nirodhena. And what is Nibbana? unestablished consciousness. That means consciousness is there, right? Please understand. Its personality is different. Personality is Satta. That's a person. Vijnana is totally different thing. It's got nothing to do with Sat, Atta. It seems like Atta because you are conscious. But that has got nothing to do with Vijnana itself. Some people go to an extent saying there's no Vijnana. Buddha has not spoken about Vijnana. And if you read lot of all the suttas, it ends with what? Vijnana. Means consciousness. Does consciousness exist? You can't say consciousness doesn't, there's no consciousness at all. That's a stupid argument. I has a consciousness. What do you mean? I doesn't have consciousness. You mean to say ear doesn't have consciousness. Nose doesn't have consciousness. They have. So we need to be correctly understanding it, otherwise we will misunderstand what is being said. Like what Veena asked, that, oh, there is no Atma. Mind and matter. What is mind then? What is mind? Mind is consciousness. Can the matter do things by itself? So Nama Rupa is again faultily translated as mind and matter. Nama is part of the mind, but Nama is not mind. So it becomes absolute. And form means matter. What matter? Which matter? So we tend to take something very superficial and say that that's all what it is. Like what she said, mind and matter. But the mind is real or not? If you say it's unreal, Uchchedavada. If you say real, Sasattavada. Then you say it is neither real nor real. So now you are going to go into all kind of circles. Either you will try to disprove, no mind. No mind? Fine. Then why do you go to hospital? Then no mind anyway, leave it. Why eat? Don't eat. Who is eating? Throw the eating. No, I want to go to toilet. No toilet. Sit here. Your mind is saying, let's go to toilet. Let's eat. Let's do this. Let's do that. It's only doing. So it will be a wrong way of understanding. The problem is the Pali interpretation to English and also in any of the regional languages also, they put it as anatma. And that creates so much of mess because Hinduism has Atma, Jain has Atma, Buddha has Anatma. So it thoroughly gets into a muddled up mode. And there's not a single sutta where Buddha says, I don't believe in Atma. I believe in Atma. It's a Pali word Atma is also same, Sanskrit word Atma is also same. You will never find any reference anywhere saying I am an Anatmavadi. Yes.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned before that misunderstanding as anatma is how the Buddhists lost eventually to other schools because then those questions become ridiculous. They cannot.
Yeah, they can't answer, right? So simple question, who is going to toilet? Now you answer it, the body is going to toilet. Then why are you taking the body then? That's exactly what he's asking, what Vacha is asking. Tam jivam tam shariram, anyam jivam anyam shariram. That's the exact meaning he's asking. You go to bath or your body goes to bath. Perfect, your body goes to bath, but why are you going to bath? Throw the body and come out. No. Let it take bath and come back and then you go inside if you want, otherwise stay outside. It's just like asking, am I sitting in the house or the house is sitting inside me? And also, who requires house? Body. But why are you residing in the house? What answer will anybody give? Which Buddhist will give this answer? Agreed. No Atma. Fine. But why are you sitting in the house? because you're attached to body. Then throw the body, cut the body and shut it down. A stomach upset happens, you run to the doctor. Why? Shouldn't. You feel headache, that means head is there. Where is the ache? Head doesn't have any ache. It's a conscious experience. So when consciousness is there, right? So ignore it. Let's see. Cancer happens to the body, not to you. The soul is not there, right? That why are you worried then? You shouldn't be worried, right? You should be happy. Your body is having cancer. Yeah. You should do that. That is why the after 1100 or whatever that AD, Buddhists got lost in India, especially because they couldn't win over this argument. Who experiences? They couldn't answer. They were shot down perfectly because they couldn't answer this very simple thing. Who is experiencing? Tell me that. No, this is this, that, this Kalapa, Pilapa and all that. That nobody would buy into that argument. Tell me who is experiencing. Are you experiencing? Yes. You exist? Yes. You know you exist? Yes. That means you have a soul. Simple. But Buddha, that's the reason he is smart. He knows. He will not take something which is controversial because they don't understand the Atma in its true essence. So he says, is there a Atta? That means you have control. Is it Anatta when you don't have any control? The body is growing. Do you have any control over it? And the answer is no. That means there is no personality. You as a person doesn't exist. Isn't that truth? That's the truth. That's the reason in the Anatta Lakkana Sutta it's very clear, very focused, no speculation. Because philosophy gets into speculative thinking. No speculation. Yes, you are experiencing, perfect. But do you have any control? No. Perfect. Yes, if you don't have any control, there is no Atta. Atta has got nothing to do with Atma. What is Atma? What is Anatma? But that's a translation problem. So every book carries Anatma. Okay, Anatma. Now you fight. Somebody believes in Atma, you say there is no Atma. So when they both meet, what happens? He will prove Atma exists and you try to prove Anatma exists. Then comes experience. Who is experiencing? Forget all that. Why become Sotapanna? When there is no Atma, then who becomes Sotapanna? Who becomes Sotapanna? Who wants Sakadagami? Who wants Anagami? Who wants Arhat? Who? There should be somebody, right? To get into Anagami, there should be someone. If that someone himself is not there, to whom it is? Isn't it a waste of time? So, it has got nothing to do with Atma, Anatma. It is something to do with a person. Vilas as a person. Yes, it's a created one. It's created out of Nama and Rupa. That's correct. That's not real. That's unreal. So, you drop the unreal one. Because it's consciousness, it's established consciousness. Vilas is an established consciousness. You can remove the establishing of consciousness and hence Nibbana is experienced. It's nothing to do with Atma exists or Anatma exists or both exist, both don't exist like that. It's an unfortunate thing that the translation into Anitya and Anatma created so much of Anitya, at least you can understand, but what is Anatma? It's beyond anybody's comprehension. Yes, God. Who wants to become Sotapanna? I will say I. Why? Because I am going to exist in the Apaya. I means who? Who is this I? Then I will say Nama and Rupa. And what is Nama, by the way? So there are 4 layers of nama, not one layer of nama. 4 layers. The 4th layer is what? The pure consciousness, which has established. And you have to remove that established consciousness. And when you remove established consciousness, it will never get established anywhere. And hence Nibbana. It's got nothing to do with Atma, Anatma, or whatever that is. It's fine. It's just a definition given. Agreed. But you have to define something. You have to conceptualize something. And Buddha is one who doesn't allow conceptualization. He goes direct. He says, what's your experience? Are you experiencing it like this, or are you experiencing like that? Yes, sir, I'm experiencing like this. So then if you experience like this, do you have any control over that experience? And the answer is no, I don't have any control over that experience. And I am meeting Aryu, and I am going to the Deva realm, I am going to Brahma realm, I am doing all the 8 jhanas. Is there or not? Yes.
I guess once you come to the anatta of vijnana, you could say when there's pain, can you not make the experiencer exist? Just make it disappear so there's no pain to be felt. But you cannot make it disappear.
You can't make it disappear. That's correct. So what do we say? You have to endure it, right? Yes, Veena.
We tell that if you want to become Sotapanna, I should go from the mind itself. Like I is there, it should go
No, the mind is existing or no? That's a question. Whether I should go out of the mind or you should go out of the mind is not a question. The mind exists.
Mind exists.
That means there is Atma or not?
Mind means Atma.
No, mind means Atma or not, I don't know. What I'm saying is, if something is existing as an experience, that means there is somebody called experiencer.
Yeah, experiencer is there.
You experiencing is different from Padmavati's experience, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So everybody's experience are different. So that means your experience is your experience, her experience is her experience.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the reason Buddha doesn't talk about Atma, Anatma.
Okay.
Okay. So when we meet up tomorrow, we'll take the next section talks about that in a minute. So we'll take it tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay then. Good night and good day to everyone.